I have not made a ruffle wreath in a hot minute, and that is exactly what we're doing today. Hello my friends, and welcome to DIY with Nadia. I have Simba as my co-host today, and yes, I am wearing my Where's Waldo sweater because we are doing a peppermint theme. This is going to be such a beautiful, poofy, and fun wreath. This wreath is going to go in my new house in the kitchen, so I'm very excited to make it. Right, Simba? Do you want to give me 5? That's right. All right, you guys, we are ready to get started on our beautiful peppermint ruffle Christmas wreath. Let's go over the few supplies we're going to use for this wreath, starting with 2 rolls of Deco mesh. These are 10 inches in width and 10 yards in length. These were actually bought in the Valentine's section, but they work perfect for this wreath. I picked up these fun pipe cleaners at Hobby Lobby, and by the way, everything that you see here will be listed in the description box below and where I purchased everything. For ribbon, I'm going to be using this absolutely stunning candy cane ribbon. Also, this red and white stripe one. Both of these are, of course, wired. Here is that stunning sign that we're going to be using. Look how beautiful this is. It's going to go perfect in my red and white peppermint Christmas themed house this year. For our wreath base, I'm going to be using a 14-inch metal wreath form. For this wreath, we're going to be using the 18 pipe cleaner method. My wreath base has 6 sections, so 18 divided by 6 is going to be 3. That means 3 pipe cleaners per section. The first pipe cleaner is going to go on rows 1 and 2. Nice tight twist in the center. And I'm going to face this down, just like this. The other 2 pipe cleaners are going to go to the sides of the center one on rows 3 and 4. This is going to be a big poofy wreath, so you want to separate your ruffles a little bit. That's why I'm skipping this center row right here and going straight to rows 3 and 4. These pipe cleaners I'm going to face out. This is just going to make it a lot easier when we're attaching our ruffles. And now I'm going to repeat the exact same thing in the remaining sections. I have all my candy cane pipe cleaners attached, 6 on the inside and 12 on the outside. The Deco mesh that I'm using is really beautiful, but it is also very, very foiled, as you can see right here. Therefore, I am going to be using a wood burning tool instead of a rotary cutter. I am using a tempered glass cutting board. I'll have that link below along with the wood burning tool that I'm using. When it comes to cutting your Deco mesh, you want to cut it anywhere between 30 and 34 inches. My cutting mat is 36 inches in width, so I had to move everything down so you can see my 34-inch mark. Before I get started, I always make sure I have a ventilated area. My window is open in front of me. My fur babies are nice and safe because this is one time that I want to make sure that safety is really important. Now, another thing you're going to see me do is not go in a straight line. That is because I'm going in between 2 of the vertical lines. That makes for a nicer seal. So it doesn't matter how the Deco mesh waves, you just go in between the 2 lines. Now I'm just rolling my Deco mesh up and putting it in a basket. I'm going to need 18 pieces at 30 to 34 inches. If you're using 2 different colors of Deco mesh for this wreath, then you're going to need 9 pieces at 30 to 34 inches of each color. This is such a fun wreath to do. And as you can see, I'm going between 2 lines, no matter how crooked that Deco mesh is. The Deco mesh is not crooked, it's just wavy, that's all. And of course, now I'm rolling my Deco mesh up, putting in my basket, and cutting 16 more pieces. Now it's time to cut our ribbon. I'm going to be cutting my ribbon into 12-inch strips, and I'm going to need 18 pieces of each. I usually like to zigzag my ribbon up so it's easy to cut my dovetails when I'm cutting them. And since this ribbon is so tough, I'm going to be doing it a few at a time. Fold the end in half and cut out a little triangle. It's simple and it's much quicker than cutting one by one. Just like my stripe ribbon, I'm going to be cutting this one into 12-inch strips, zigzag up, and we're also going to cut dovetails by folding the ends in half and cutting a triangle out. Okay friends, it's time to get this party started. I have all the deco mesh cut up and the ribbon, 18 pieces of each. When I make my ruffles, I'm going to have the deco mesh roll onto the table. That way I can do my first fold. I usually like to do it about an inch. This helps a lot with frame. If you don't have a deco mesh roll where you can't figure out where the center is, doing the ruffles on your cutting mat is the best option. Here we go. We're collecting straight in the center and making little ruffles. When you come to the end, the other side should be rolling under like we needed. I'm going to pinch at my 1-inch mark and bring the entire thing together. Look how beautiful a ruffle is. I usually start with the inner row and then add on the outer row. Put that in. I'm just crossing the pipe cleaners while I get my ribbon. I'm going to grab the first one and the second one, layering them one on top of the other. Fold in half. Now I know exactly where my center is, and I just do 2 little pinches on the wires, bring it together, and then put it inside. Few more twists. These are decorative pipe cleaners, so I'm going to leave them as is for now. And we're on to the next ruffle. Our deco mesh is being rolled onto the table. That way it's nice to make our first little fold. I like to keep my fold at about an inch. Center it, and let's gather. I cut my deco mesh into 34 inches and the gathering is taking time. I'm all the way at the end. I'm going to let this curl in about an inch, have my little fold, and bring it all together. If you would like, you can add the ribbon at this point. It's just a lot of deco mesh to hold, but if you want to, here is what I would do. Grab your first ribbon. My second one is a little bit on the curly side, but I'm going to just lay it over. Find your center right on your cutting mat. You know where that is, right there. Gather it. Put it on the inside, and you already have your deco mesh and your ribbon bundles together. I'm going to make sure I make a nice tight twist, then another one, and then I'm going to let these pipe cleaners just stay there. At this point, we're just going to repeat the exact same thing we did here to the remaining pipe cleaners. All right, friends, this is not the whole wreath. This is only the inner row. And look how beautiful this wreath is turning out. Now I'm going to get started on making ruffles and of course attaching the ribbon bundles to the outer row. All the deco mesh is on, and of course the ribbon. The ribbon is not shown that much, but it will when we actually lay them out later. Now I'm going to grab all the ribbon that's in the inside and push it out, because when we're going to put the sign in, we need to make room for it. And the sign is going to go right in the middle. How gorgeous. This is what it's going to look like approximately. We're going to attach some floral wire to the 4 corners. This sign already has the little holes. I'm cutting my floral wire 12 inches in length, and of course I'm going to need 4 pieces. Just feeding the floral wire through, and I like to make nice tight twists in the back. And now it's time to attach to the wreath. Going to sink the sign in just a little bit. Alrighty, let's flip and start attaching. When I'm attaching the first time, especially on a big sign like this, I'll just give the floral wire 1 or 2 twists, and then we check. I want to make sure that it's in a good spot. And this actually looks really good. Sometimes we tend to have one side maybe a little tighter and the other one a little looser. And I feel like the top is a little looser. It could be a little tighter. So I'll take a look at that. And then we're just going to start twisting the floral wire and attaching it to the wreath base. If you feel like you have too much floral wire, we can always twist it up, cut the excess off, and then you're dealing with a smaller tail to wrap around the wreath base. Now that the sign is on, we're going to start by taking all of our gorgeous ribbon and opening it up. So bring it to the top and open it up. Fold it over like a little flower petal, just like this. When it comes to the pipe cleaners, I'm going to twist them like a little spiral. First, I'm going to twist down. So once again, I'm just twisting it down. I'll show you a close-up in just a second. It looks like we have 2 peppermint candies. Let's open up that ribbon a little better. Then we have 2 of these cuties on the inside. How adorable. I'm going to continue opening up all that ribbon. All right, my friends, let's start twisting. This is going to be fun. It's going to take some time, but you know what? Beautiful things sometimes do take time. How beautiful is this wreath? And I am loving how the pipe cleaners turned into little peppermint candy. I love how it turned out. I was a little worried that it might not show up as well, but you know what? It does. Really shows up beautifully, and those neighbors and your guests will definitely notice them on your wreath. I did put a hanging loop on this wreath, so this wreath is definitely ready to go in my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this wreath tutorial. I had so much fun making it. If you are new to this channel and would love to see more wreath tutorials, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course give this video a thumbs up. Simba's working so hard to give mom 5. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you're such a good kitty. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Bye.